Hello friends, welcome to Psoriatreat for my book launch No Psoriasis to No Psoriasis. And I really thank you for your patience because there are a lot of technical glitches, but I can definitely compensate you with the knowledge and with the information that I'm going to give you. And definitely you are here for some special purpose as I am here for special purpose, and definitely we are going to do some transformation or some changes in your life after the end of this my book launch event. So let us start with it. I welcome everyone here. You may be having psoriasis, some of your relatives have been having psoriasis, some people may be interested what psoriasis is there, and I'm going to answer all your questions there. So let me start with my personal story. I'm Dr. Rajendra Sonawane. I studied homeopathy in one of the world's biggest institute, National Institute of Homeopathy, and I started my practice way back in '83 when I graduated. But in my initial practice, as I know that I'm the most lucky person in the world because I got the best teachers of the world, including Dr. K.C. Mittal, who studied in 9 countries of the world, Dr. S.K. Dubey, Dr. George Vithalkos, and so many of them. So in my initial practice, I had very good practice initially, and in those days, almost in 1980 and 90s, so cancer was very rampant and the treatments were not that refined as today. And my main practice was relieving the patients of cancer. So all those patients who had declared that there is no treatment for cancer and you cannot live for 6 to 7 months, all these patients used to come to me and I used to help them to extend their life by 6 months to 2 years. And they were all happy and I was having a good professional income. But something happened in my life. The accidents do happen and they are for the best things. One of my psoriasis patients whom I was treating, and he came to me when he was completely free of psoriasis and he said, "Doctor," with some tears in his eyes, he said, "This is my new life, second life. You have given me a new life." And he said that he has decided already to commit suicide the day before he visited. But he got my name and he said, "This is the last person I will try my treatment, otherwise he's going to commit suicide." So he delayed his suicide for my treatment. And I asked him another question, that a lot of patients, they know that they are going to die in 6 months or 1 year or 2 years, that's definite, but they don't think of suicide. Why you think of suicide? He said, "I am thinking of suicide because I am living with disease for last 10 to 15 years. And the disease is not leaving me. I am suffering. The same pain is there. Sometimes it is there, sometimes it is not there, and it is increasing. And it's a shame. I feel ashamed when I get up in the morning, when my wife and my children look at me with pityness. When I go to the shop and people ask me, 'What is this? Why don't you take a treatment? Is there no treatment for this disease?' And he said, that kills me every day, every moment. So instead of dying every moment, why not kill myself? Because I'm not dying of the disease. May I get a disease where I get death also." So that was the reason for his suicide. That night I couldn't sleep. I thought that I'm highly qualified homeopath. So many teachers have taught me and I know the knowledge. Am I meant for the same things other doctors are treating? Or am I meant for taking a challenge that nobody is going to treat it, the disease? And I was taught in my colleges also, okay, this is a one-sided disease and there is no treatment, you can only relieve it. What is written in today's textbooks? And that day I decided that because of my teachers and because of my knowledge, I'm not going to do anything else than to treat psoriasis and psoriasis only. And in order to become an expert, I knew the research methodology, and I tried the same thing with research methodology, and I decided not to treat anything else than psoriasis so that I can concentrate all my energies and my knowledge and my time for psoriasis. So this way my journey started. So when my journey started, I had initially failures, but again I had some successes. So this was my story, and I will tell you later one more story that is very heartbreaking, that changed my completely life. So what you know about psoriasis? So let us say that the main problem behind psoriasis is that We don't know what we need to know, and we know what we don't need to know. So let us say what is the general perspective of psoriasis today, and what is today's condition of psoriasis all over the world. Although when I started my practice, people say nobody knows psoriasis and how you will succeed. Today also very few people know about psoriasis. But let me break the myth about psoriasis. Almost 3% of the world's population are suffering from psoriasis. It's not less. 125 million Americans are suffering from psoriasis. First of all. Second thing I must mention about psoriasis is that when I was a student, the commonest age of getting psoriasis, as written in the books, it was 30 to 40 years of age. Today it is in the textbooks 18 to 25 years of age. And in my practice, I see small children getting psoriasis. Next important thing I must tell about the psoriasis, although psoriasis begins as a very small incident like some spots on elbows or some dandruff, and we just neglect it as a very harmless disease, but it goes on spreading. It can spread all your body, it can affect your nails, it can affect your palms and soles, it can affect your joints causing psoriatic arthritis, and it can disable, cause a lot of disability that you cannot move on. So it starts with small things and it can end with big things, and it can challenge your life. The next important thing I must tell you is that psoriasis, what we find in psoriasis is that not only the work, this suffering, but you see in the world, biggest work loss, that is people do not go to work, and that is called as a work loss hours. So number one disease is backache, and number two disease is psoriasis. Still we think we don't know about psoriasis. It's the number two disease, and people do not go for work. And nowadays we find that 18 to 25 is the age, and in psoriasis you see earlier you get the psoriasis, more the complications, and likely that people who got psoriasis 30 to 40 years of age when I was a student, they got the complication at the age of 60 and 70. So almost that age is not a productive age. Today when they get at the age of 18 to 25 and the complication is at the age of 28, 30, 35, they get psoriatic arthritis. So the whole productive age is hampered. So where the psoriasis pain is today, number one I must tell you is that today is a World Psoriasis Day, that is 29th October. Today is a Dhanteras, that is the god of health we worship, and it's a good auspicious day to think of about our health today. And one of the losses you see when they say that psoriasis is a disease of a patient, no, not only the patient suffers, the whole family suffers. He suffers financially, he suffers emotionally, he suffers socially because he cannot attend the social functions. He cannot remove the clothes, he cannot go to the vacations, he cannot put the t-shirts and bermudas. In women also, they come to me, they say that it's a fashion to have short clothes and we can't do it. My friends are doing it. This is the pain, personal pain. Again, the relationship pain. The people who are about to marriage, they want to delay the marriage. They think, how can I marry? The person who are married, they are having problems in their relationship. So this disease is affecting not only as a disease to the body, but it's affecting your mind, your emotions, your relationship, everything. And that causes a depression. And let me tell you the statistics. As such, depression is the biggest disease going to be on the earth next. But you see, psoriasis patients do have 9% of the patients are in depression. And in those patients who are in depression, 1% of the patients do try suicide once in their life. This is the highest depression statistics that we go. So we have to think of this disease, what do you know about it? And I don't want to frighten about this, but let me tell you another example that changed my life. Because when I started with psoriasis, I had a lot of successes and some failures also. And definitely I was not good in financial in those days. And I was just thinking of something, what to do and what not to do. But one newspaper, I got the news, and that changed whole of my life. And if you hear, you will change your life too. It's a very painful story. It is a story of a suicide of a 28-year-old woman who committed suicide along with her two children, and she was suffering from psoriasis. And she wrote in her suicide note that I am going to tell you. She said that I was suffering from psoriasis for last 15 to 20 years without much relief. And one of my child got psoriasis, and I went to the doctor, and he said, your child got psoriasis because you are also having psoriasis, and it's a genetic one. It really hurt her. It caused a guilt in her. After a few months, another child also showed some symptoms of psoriasis, and she asked the doctor why he got psoriasis. He said same answer. And then she had a guilt that her children are having psoriasis because of her. And she wanted to commit suicide. She went to the well and she drowned along with her two children. And she writes in the notebook, her suicide note, that I am dying because my children are having psoriasis because of me. And I am dying with my children because the painful life that I am living, I don't want my children to live that life. Better they die when they are a child and they suffer. This really did not allow me to sleep many nights. And I thought, whatever happens in my life, I am not going to do, whether I get successes or whether I get failures, I am not going to do anything else than the treatment of psoriasis and thinking of psoriasis and research on psoriasis. Because I don't want any other mother in the world to die herself along with her children or to kill her children. This is a story documented. It's in my Facebook account and YouTube also. So that is what inspiring me today, even today, to work on psoriasis and psoriasis only. So this is what you know, but now today, be attentive to the next thing I'm going to tell you. That is not spread as a knowledge of psoriasis. It is very much in the books. But be attentive that I'm going to tell you this. Everybody knows psoriasis is a genetic. And we are afraid that if I got psoriasis, my children will get it. And people are really worried about that. Another important thing, psoriasis, although genetic, like other diseases, let me ask you a question. Diabetes is genetic, cancer is genetic, hypertension is genetic, and so many other genetics. Are you really afraid and trying for depression for this? No. But why psoriasis? Because psoriasis hampers your life. First of all, let me start and tell you, although it is a genetic, one of the better side of psoriasis is, because many times we find parents are not having psoriasis, children get it. Children's or parents who are having psoriasis may not get psoriasis. So why this is a contradiction? I think majority of the people do not know about this. Because if a disease is genetic and it has a single gene defective, it is bound to affect you. But in case of psoriasis, there are 25 defective genes. And unless and until 4 and 5 genes come together, you may not get psoriasis. Number one. Number two is that it is not only genetics that causes psoriasis, but it needs some trigger factors. And that triggers the psoriasis. So what are those trigger factors? Those trigger factors are your lifestyle, your diet, your sleeping habits, your lack of exercise, your mental stress, tension. All these things are triggers and you can easily avoid it. And one of the interesting thing I must tell you here, that all those people who have genetic tendency of psoriasis, only 30% of the people get psoriasis. 70% people are skipped. So why afraid of psoriasis? So this is very important thing to know, that you can avoid trigger factors. That way you can avoid psoriasis. The next and last and very important thing I will tell you, that is blow your mind. Psoriasis is not a skin disease. And you will be surprised by this, because the psoriasis is an autoimmune disease. The main symptoms that you see and diagnose it as a psoriasis on the skin, they are not the causes of skin, they are the results of the disease. In fact, the changes in immunity causes increase the production of your cells on the skin, and which is actually meant and good for healing of your wound. The wound healing mechanism is meant only when you got the wound, and for healing of the wound it is there. As soon as wound is healed, it stops. But in psoriasis, irrespective of any wound, automatically because of the defect in the genes, the wound healing mechanism automatically starts. Body gets wrong signals that there are a lot of wounds on your body and there is increased cell production. So all those people who treat the psoriasis on the skin that you see, that is a visible psoriasis, they are not going to cure the psoriasis. That is only going to delay the psoriasis for some time. What is written in the books today, that psoriasis is treatable, not curable. That is, whenever you get a psoriasis, you take a treatment for some time, it will go, it will come back again, and again you take a treatment, and again it will go back. But it will not only go back, but every episode it will increase, and you will need more and more intensive treatment, to the extent that all the treatments that you are taking, all these treatments do not only control psoriasis, they cause a harmful, allopathic treatment especially, they cause harmful effect on your vital organs, and your vital organs after some time cannot tolerate, they get failure, otherwise they will stop working, and then you have to stop the treatment of psoriasis, and then you are left out with the most severe psoriasis and just wait for automatically it go, or wait for the end of your life. At that time, people used to think, is there an alternative? But there are wise people who know it beforehand, and they think of a right or good treatment that is without side effects. So this is what the scenario is there. On the other hand, the third important thing I must mention, that if you are thinking, in case of psoriasis, if you are having, what happens in psoriasis, that people go on changing the doctors. Why? Because our main understanding or perspective is that you go to the doctor, take a treatment, and you will get rid of psoriasis or get rid of anything. No. You should not only be taking a treatment, you will get rid. And if you don't get effect, you change the doctor, you go on to change the systems. And people in psoriasis, I find they have tried lot of doctors, they have tried lot of systems, and then they get so frustrated and they say, okay, I stop all the treatments, I don't want to waste money, let the disease take its toll, and they go in depression. And those people come to me. So always one thing I must mention over here, that is the main aim behind writing this book, is that it is not only the treatment, as well as you must know what are the trigger factors. Even if you are taking a right treatment, your doctor is right. But if you are not managing the disease properly, if you are not following the regime, if you are not doing proper things, then your best treatment may not effect. So all these 38 years during my own patient's treatment, I have found what are the things are important and needed to the patient other than my treatment, so that they will get the best results. And that is the secret of my success. And I, while seeing all 30,000 patients ask me so many questions, intimate questions. Although I had a knowledge of psoriasis from the books, but it's very difficult to explain the book's knowledge to the patient. It should be in the patient's language, and patient should understand it. At the same time, you must know what information is important for him, what you should give and what you should not tell, because he will get a lot of stress. That's what happened in the case of suicide. The information was right, but the time and the giving, the way it was given, it may not be correct. So that can lead to the depression, that can lead to even increase in psoriasis. Because you see, the main reason behind psoriasis is depression and mental stress. So they say that stress causes psoriasis, and psoriasis itself is cause of stress, and this is a vicious circle. So for that, whenever you go to the doctor, I always say, doctor is not just a person who gives a treatment. Doctor is a mentor. He not only thinks of your life as a disease, he just goes, as I do go to patients and study his life and guide him. I am a mentor to my patients. They tell their emotions and I guide them about the psoriasis, about the causes, about the patients to be done, and about what time they need for that. So this is very important for that. And let me tell you about what we are doing at Psoriatreat. Psoriatreat is a unique institute in the world that is not meant only for the treatment of psoriasis and getting a proficiency and financial earning. It is not meant for that, and it was never meant for that. Right from the beginning, you must know. So here you must be knowing that although in all the textbook it is written that there is no cure for psoriasis, but you see, you go to the YouTube and open every channel and they will tell you, you do this and within 2 months your psoriasis vanish. You apply this cream, your psoriasis goes. This is all false. This is all temporary. This is all misleading. I always, whenever a patient comes to us, we always say that if you want to take my treatment, you must be committed for 1 whole year. Because how can I know that psoriasis is my treatment is having result? And that is a very important thing that I notice in my treatment is, you see, psoriasis is a cyclical disease. It comes in a winter or any time of adverse condition, and automatically in earlier few years it goes back and it comes back again. So people take only treatment when they get psoriasis and they stop when they are not getting it. And like that, psoriasis goes on increasing to the day that psoriasis does not go even in favorable season, and then it's very complicated. So whenever a patient comes, suppose he comes in winter, he starts his treatment and after 3-4 months psoriasis goes and he drops out. Then actually when the first symptoms has gone, then I have to start treating his immunity, treating his tendency after the symptoms of psoriasis has relieved. But he is not taking a treatment. The next year when the psoriasis comes, he will come back. So the best result, or to know my result of treatment, is in the adverse condition next year when the psoriasis is less or it doesn't come, that is the result of my medicine. So I do insist my patient to take 1 year treatment, and we have all the resources and we want to treat only those patients who wanted to get rid of psoriasis, not just a temporary relief. And we don't want to waste our time, energies in those people who want a temporary treatment. I'm very sorry to say that, and we are very strict about it, because we are not doing only treatment, we are doing research to find the best treatment in the world. And we are here to create a world which is free of psoriasis. That is the reason the book I have written it. So here we have done a lot of research on that, and let me tell you one of the very important thing, that since the beginning I started my practice, I used to take the photos every month. People used to ask why I am taking. I said, I don't know, this is the research method, I am doing it. In 2012, NIIT asked me, National Institute of Technology, Raipur, the professor approached me and he said, Doctor, we are going to do the research and you are having the world's largest data of psoriasis patients. I was not knowing it. And for data mining, machine learning, artificial intelligence, they need a lot of data. And I had that data. Being Indian, I am proud that I am working with an Indian institute and they are coming up with the hardware and software in the world for the diagnosis and prognosis of psoriasis. So this is a proud to be Indian. And this data, I was not knowing about it, but my methods are like that. And now my mission is to make the best treatment of psoriasis in the world. And one of the very important thing about the book, I must tell you, that this book is not meant for just a knowledge of psoriasis. This book is meant for the people who want to manage their psoriasis, because there are a lot of textbooks for medical knowledge. So this book is written for the patients, their questions, their inquiries in 38 years, and to answer them. So, and to read and how to manage their psoriasis themselves without medicines. So all these 38 years, I had a lot of interviews on television, on radios and all these things. But all these things, even my YouTube channel is there, you can go and get the knowledge. But why the book? Because for the TV, you need a time to attend particular. For the YouTube channel, you need internet and all these things. But this book does not need any internet. This book does not need any gadget to go. This is a simple book anybody can have in a few minutes, and he can be there with you on the bed, anywhere you carry, and you can read it and you can get the knowledge. So I needed all the information in one place at a time. And that's why I needed this book to be written. And I just wrote this book, which includes what is there in the book. So if you open a book, you will see that it is not written like a classical book. What is the psoriasis word like? It's written in the question and answer method. It is written what is there in your mind and it's answering your mind. What you think of psoriasis. So you can see it begins with why did I get psoriasis, the first chapter. Then it said how psoriasis starts, where it can occur. So all these questions I have answered in the question and answer manners. So it is what you really thinking or what you want to know about psoriasis, how to manage psoriasis, how to take care. And one of the very important 2 chapters I mentioned in it is that the role of society in the control and prevention of psoriasis, how the society can help, because today is the World Psoriasis Day and the main theme of World Psoriasis is that psoriasis and its family affection. So now it's a time to unravel my secrets and my book, and one very special guest I am inviting. So if you are really impressed by my life and my research, do you want to know the secret of my life? Who is behind all this success? As everybody knows, there is a woman behind every man, so you may get a clue. So you must be knowing that all this journey, all these things, I have been doing a lot of eccentric things. I have not been doing my duties properly as a family, as a husband, as a father. But who tolerated all these pains? Who tolerated me? Nobody can tolerate me. Only one woman who tolerated, and I want that woman to come over here and unravel this book, because during this book writing, she has suffered all the pains that I could not do my duties and I could not share so many things with her. And I just welcome my beautiful wife, Ranjana, to unravel the book. Please. Read the book.
Hello.
Hello, she is my wife, Ranjana, and she will just unravel the book. She is going to open the book. So she has no words to speak now, but she is a backbone behind my success. If she would not have been there, I would not have done a single thing in my life. So this is the source of my energy. She is my inspiration. She is my everything. And it is not only my wife, but my staff and everybody there are there here. Ganesh, come in. Ganesh.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Fast. Great. So staff, and what is their contribution? You know, they all help me in my work because I am engrossed and they are doing a lot of my works, and I am really thankful to them because they have taken a lot of my responsibilities other than my practice, and even they help me in my practice, and they will be speaking on that. And I will welcome my other colleagues also who are part of Psoriatreat, and they are my research in Psoriatreat. So,
Next up.
thank you.
Look.
So now. Hello friends, the next person that I am going to introduce you is I won't call her my assistant doctor. I won't call her my help. That's it. The only one thing I will call her is, I don't know about tomorrow, but she is my clone. Everything that I know, I have taught her, and she is the future of Psoriatreat. Dr. Sonawane, over to you.
Hello. Congratulations, sir. Hello, I'm Dr. Sonal Badve. I'm a consultant homeopath. I am associated with Psoriatreat since last 10 years. I am working with sir as a senior assistant in his research work. I have learned a lot of things from him because during my graduation, post-graduation, and before coming here, I have worked in lot of hospitals, corporate clinics, where I was taught and I was made my mind that psoriasis is a one-sided disease and patient has to suffer from it lifelong. Okay, so there is no cure for it, and patient needs to suffer. Only we can control the symptoms and make his life at ease for some time period, and again he has to suffer. So it's a lifelong disease. That was my notion before coming at Psoriatreat. When I joined Psoriatreat, I made my mind that I must explore what are actual results with the patient. So I started speaking with patients, and they changed my mind by their own experiences, because patients they were telling that I am referred by one patient whose psoriasis is gone. So he has told कि जा उधर जा वहाँ तेरा इलाज हो जाएगा. Okay, so many patients are coming. ठीक है. So then I became more and more interested, and then I started working with sir, and I'll tell you that he has committed for this disease and for transformation of patients. It is not only that he is treating patients, he is actually transforming the lives of the patient. Okay, so yeah, and on this occasion of World Psoriasis Day, he has published his book. So it's a great thing that on this is Dhanteras today, and it's a Dhanvantari Jayanti, what we say in Marathi, and it's a World Psoriasis Day. So I can tell that in this book is actually a gift that you can give yourself if you are suffering from psoriasis, because whatever is given in this book, whatever he has written in this book is a treasure, is a precious treasure of his 38 years of experience. If you follow this book, you can control your psoriasis very well, and if you want to get cured, you can take treatment along with this book. Okay, so I can tell that he, as a boss, I never feel that he behaves as a boss with us. So the whole staff are like his kids. He behaves as a father to us. Okay, and we are very happy, and he is not only transforming the lives of patients, he is making changes in their lives, but I can tell ki our lives, the staff members' lives are also getting transformed with his visions, with his actual efforts that he is taking. We are learning from him how to be devoted, how to be committed to one mission. So he is on the mission of transforming, and we are aligning our mission with his mission. So that's why Psoriatreat has become a full-stop solution to one-stop solution to all the patients who are suffering from this devastating disease. So thank you, sir.
Yeah. Hello friends, all these things I must be say that it's good. It's not only the doctors, but I must thank one of the very important person because of that here. He's my social media manager, and it's not only the doctors, but he's also helping me a lot on all these things, and because of him all this YouTube and all these things I can connect with you. He's Mr. Upendra, who manages my social
Hello guys. So my name is Upendra Ahire. I look after all the social medias of Psoriatreat, and let me introduce, Let me tell you that this book publication online, going live to the different medias, is not an easy task. For the initial glitch up, let me tell you, because we have received inputs at the last moment, so there were you can see a lot of glitch initially, but we have sorted out. Now talking about this book and this Psoriatreat and Dr.R.S.Sonawane, let me go with first the main person, Dr.R.S.Sonawane. I mean, Psoriatreat stands by him. I have worked with lot of clients, including, I mean, since I look after social medias of many clients, but Psoriatreat is very different and very, I mean, they give freedom to you. You work not only for me as a social media manager, but they also give freedom to all their staffs. There is no pressure at all, and it's nice to working with Psoriatreat. So these are my words. Also, let me tell you, there are many questions that patient asks or reviews they give. Many of them, 70-80% are positive, 10-20% are negative. Negative comes because I see a lot of reviews. I can see that reviews are negative because of patients are not taking the whole year's treatment. You know, here the system is different, very different at Psoriatreat. It's a clinic for specialty clinic for psoriasis, and they have certain their criteria which require minimum 1 year of treatment. And I see in the reviews they just escape by after 2 months, 3 months, and they then give a negative review. So my kind request to all the negative reviewers, please take your whole treatment as suggested by him, and then you will definitely change. So social media, you just keep our LinkedIn account is also there. You can go to there, Facebook, Instagram, then YouTube Live, YouTube videos, shorts, almost all medias are covered by us. So if you want a free information directly from the doctor, you can ask many questions there also. You go to our channel by Psoriatreat. Now there are so many questions has come. So let's take the question answer session directly from the doctor. Sir, we will take a question answer now.
Sure.
There is one patient who is suffering from psoriasis named Rohan Kashi.
Okay.
He asked, can naturopathy cure psoriasis?
You see, cure and relief of symptom is a different thing. There are a lot of systems that can relieve you of psoriasis. But only one thing, that when you are getting a freedom from psoriasis symptoms, if you remain free for 1.5 years, then only it is an indication that your tendency immunity has been treated. So any system, for example, in Psoriatreat, we have patients who are free of psoriasis for 10 to 15 years and even without any treatment. So that is the result. And definitely if you get that result, definitely that can be said as a cure. So that one has to prove. That is the reason in Psoriatreat we always insist the patient discontinue the treatment for 6 months under our observation. Like that we observe them for 1.5 years without any treatment. Then only we say that you don't come. And when they do all these rituals, they are free of psoriasis for 10 to 15 years. If this criteria is met, then definitely that is a cure.
Sir, the other question is, sir, do we believe in current research is sufficient or serious enough to find a cure for this disease? As you mentioned, the devastating effect of this disease, how serious the medical world?
Absolutely, if I have to tell you, it may hurt many people. Yes, everybody is trying his way. For example, modern science is trying and researching to control it. They have their own, but that's an utter failure. Because most of the modern science, I will say, they have aimed in a relief or control of psoriasis, not a cure of psoriasis. For example, I must mention over here, there is no cure. What does it mean? It will never go for life. For example, in cancer, they say that if cancer is detected early, it's a cure. And what they write, 5 years life after detection of cancer is a cure. I have patients who are free of psoriasis for 10 to 15 years. Isn't it a cure? But when you accept, you control it with the medicines, it comes back. And when it comes back, the same medicine doesn't work. This type of research and this type of medicine, if it is going on, then I think it's a way of failure. Another important thing, we should not concentrate on the treatment nowadays. We must concentrate on why children get psoriasis, why they should get psoriasis, why people should not get psoriasis. Do we think of prevention? Do we think of avoidance of psoriasis? Why the psoriasis is increasing in children? What are the factors? Are we think of those factors? Vaccination is one of the trigger factors for psoriasis. Aren't we doing unnecessary vaccinations? Do we have all these things? You see, homeopathy, always I say that it treats the tendencies, not the symptoms. So here in this world, if I am treating exclusively psoriasis, because I want to put an example, large number of patients being treated by a single system and with the records, that records are important. This book is not meant for the treatment of psoriasis. If you read this book, it is meant that how to avoid psoriasis in next generation, how to avoid psoriasis if your genetic tendency, you are not suffering from psoriasis yet, how to delay it. Definitely, if you have some genetic tendency, you are bound to suffer, but you can delay it, you can minimize it, you can manage it without medicines. And my next research is coming up that I say health without medicines. You are not born to suffer from diseases. You are born to die of diseases, but you get the diseases at the end of your life, few years, and you die. That's a natural death. But why the diseases start at earlier age? Why they start at the children? Why they start at young age? You can avoid it. And for that, you need to live a life of wholeness. And I am particularly meant for the psoriasis, and this book is meant for how to avoid psoriasis in you, in next generation, and how to manage your psoriasis by yourself so that your medicines can work better, whatever medicines you are taking. So this book is about the knowledge of psoriasis, and I think we should concentrate on this.
Yes. The other question is name is not given, but the question is areas of my skin recurrently get red and scaly. So do I have psoriasis?
Definitely. You see, if you are having a scaly eruption, all these things, it can be psoriasis, but for that you have to consult a psoriasis doctor. Because although one of the best thing is the doctor is the last person to say it is psoriasis or not. So you have to go to dermatologist, or you have to find him, or if he wants, you can do the test that is called a skin biopsy, we confirm it. But don't delay it. Many times the symptoms are mild. You just go on controlling by counter medicines or just applying moisturizer, and psoriasis can become, it's not an innocent disease. One thing I must mention here, people think that they will get psoriatic arthritis after severe psoriasis. No. Even a mild psoriasis is there for 10-15 years and immediately one gets psoriatic arthritis. Or even there is no psoriasis, and if a family history of psoriasis is there, you may not get psoriasis. You may get psoriatic arthritis directly. So it's a very serious thing, not to neglect even minor symptom of psoriasis. One of the important thing I must mention here, usually psoriasis begins as a dandruff, and people give the treatment for dandruff, and then they say it's not a dandruff, it's psoriasis. Rather, I am of opinion, if a dandruff is there, first rule out it is not psoriasis. Then you go for the next treatment. So you should think of the worst thing first. That is the best thing you can do.
Yes, definitely, sir. The other question is, how do I know which treatment is best for my psoriasis? Is it homeopathy or allopathy?
You see, there are a number of treatments available. The treatment of allopathy or homeopathy, if you say which is the best, what is your need and what is your emergency? Suppose if a patient comes to me, he has a psoriasis and he's going to get married in a month or two, I said, don't come to me. You get allopathic treatment, get rid of psoriasis, do your marriage. But if you wanted to do homeopathy, you must be committed for 1 to 3 years, because here I am not going to get rid of the psoriasis symptom, but to get rid of the psoriasis tendency. So my aim is that. So you decide what you want. You just want a temporary relief, or you want the relief for a long time. So what you want that, so that you should decide. So what is your mind, what type of treatment suits you? It depends what is in your mind and what you want out of it.
Now Sunil is asking, my friend told me that my psoriasis is most likely caused by my stress or gluten in my diet. Is it true?
About gluten, I am doubtful, because only 30% people in the world are gluten sensitive. The only test is that you go to the gluten-free diet for 15 days, and if you find a considerable improvement in psoriasis, then only you stop gluten. Otherwise, no need to stop gluten. Stress, of course, stress is a trigger factor, but it's like a gun. Once it is triggered, it goes back and you get the effect. Then you cannot come back. Even you leave the trigger, it can. So trigger is just a beginning. So even if you go and there is no stress for you, you need a treatment. And stress definitely modifies, and you must manage your stress. That is in the book, how to do that.
So there are a lot of questions are coming up, but we have time limit. Now we will take last two questions.
Yeah.
So the question asked by Tara Verma is there any relationship between psoriasis and hypertension?
Of course, there is no relation in psoriasis hypertension as such. One of the thing is that hypertension medicines can trigger psoriasis. One of the thing. Another important thing is that all these disorders, not only hypertension, cancer, cardiac disorders, you see, when you get a psoriasis, you get more propensity to get these diseases. So psoriasis patients are almost having 50% more tendency to get these complications. So psoriasis patients should be aware of this disease, and if you are having these two diseases together, definitely try to control the hypertension first. Because in hypertension, you see, you get anger and all these things, and when you get medicines, your anger is less, and that will definitely affect your psoriasis. So all those patients who come to me, I ask them to manage their diabetes, hypertension first, and start my treatment along with that. So that is very essential. You must take care of both at the same time. And I always treat psoriasis and psoriasis only, not other things. You have to manage it by the modern science treatment or anything, and we'll look after as a bonus for that. Thank you.
Now this Mr. Sunil is asking, what should patients with psoriasis avoid?
That is what there in this book. What should avoid in your diet? What should avoid about your sleep? Everything. And one thing I must tell you, why I wrote this book, there are a lot of myths. You eat a lot of proteins and you get psoriasis. You eat non-veg and you get... This is all false. There is no science behind it. So this book is only meant for you to demystify all the myths you are having, and all the myths you study on the WhatsApp and YouTube and this all unscientific things, and you torture yourself. I never torture my patients. I never give my patients much of the regimen and diet. Rather, no regime. If my medicine is best, you don't need to follow any regime. That will work. This is my last sentence. Stress is bad than the regime. Those patients who are stressed, I say don't follow anything, just take the medicine. And they get better. It's a very bold statement I am taking. Although I do advise some people to take something and not to take something, that is for the best or faster result of medicines. But if you can't do, it doesn't mean that you won't get a treatment or you won't get a relief from symptom. This is a very, very bold statement that my book is telling, and it's a proof, and I have got it.
Sir, there are a lot of questions blurring in, but we have time limit. Now we are taking the last question. This question is asked by Mr. Navneet. What's the difference between psoriasis and eczema?
You see, psoriasis is an autoimmune disorder. Eczema is still an autoimmune disorder, but it is more related to allergies, and they look alike. And definitely they can trigger each other. So many times these two diseases can come together also, or we call it a psoriatic eczema or eczematous psoriasis. They are entirely different, their causes are different, their management is different, but definitely when they come together, we treat them here also. So they are different diseases, they are not same.
So that's all we have. Now they can buy this book from...
Yeah, so before you buy this book, I must tell you the bonus that I am going to give you. Those all people who stayed until the last minute of this book launch, I am going to give them a bonus. That is, I am going to give my free consultation to them by appointment, all those people who stayed with this. And when they take a free consultation of me, definitely if they buy this book, they will get a free consultation. If they don't buy this book, still they will get a free consultation. So all those people who stayed until the last moment, it's a special bonus for them, because we together are on the fight against psoriasis. On the journey, we want to make a world free of psoriasis. We don't want to treat just psoriasis, but we want psoriasis not to happen in our next generations. So we want to extinguish psoriasis from this earth. So are you on this mission with me? If you're on this mission with me, you're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you all the viewers
Thank
staying with us. Thank you.